Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Tejano Virtual Events. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. Today, we're going to have some great information to share with you. Today's session, we'll be learning about the STEM student resource page. It will be presented by our student success tutors, Rafael Garcia and Karina Rivera. Before I hand it over to our presenters, I would like to mention that this session will be recorded so that you can come back to it later, or anybody who have missed out on today's event can return to it. Also, this event will provide Tejano Passport points. We will post the code on the chat towards the end of the session. If you have any questions on Tejano Passport points, how to log in or how to get the code, please ask us at the end of the session. We'll be happy to help and answer any of your questions. So now at this time, please mute your mic so we can have the best sound experience. Otherwise, the feedback could interfere with the information we'll be sharing today. Without further ado, I will hand it over to our awesome presenters. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Clara, for the amazing introduction. I really appreciate that. So, alrighty, everybody, thank you also for coming. We really appreciate you looking into our, well, really humble project, I would like to say. Just like about 4,000 lines of code. But so pretty much what I want to do is go through the slides and through our demo real quick, so that way we can leave more time for questions, or if you have any suggestions or anything, so that way we can do as much, so that way we can improve our project. Just a quick disclaimer, it's still under construction because it is a very, very large project. But we'll still take suggestions. We're still working on some stuff, especially on making the project as secure as possible and getting as many resources as possible. And another disclaimer, currently it's been a bit hard to get live data. So most of the data that we're working, it's just for mocking, pretty much just to simulate what it would look with real data. But without further ado, just to introduce ourselves, my name is Rafael Garcia. I'm currently a CS student at UTEP and a tutor for the Valle Verde Tutoring Center under the Office of Student Success.
And my name is Karina Rivera, and I'm a student at UTEP right now, studying computer science, and I also work as a part-time tutor here at Valle Verde.
Alrighty, everybody. So today we're going to be presenting you about the STEM Student Professional Development Resource. Now, what is that? Okay, good. So pretty much just a general overview of the project. So we were thinking, okay, jobs are kind of dispersed. So pretty much jobs, internships, scholarships, and student organizations, all those kind of resources that would help students, especially in the STEM field, which is the one that we're more familiar with. They're very dispersed and it's very hard to find them. So what we want to do is make a page to centralize all of those resources. So that way it's more accessible for students, a little bit faster, and so they can do, say, like the ones that they're interested in I don't know, mark them as applied. Kind of like, it would be kind of like a content management system for our students to take decisions on their for advancement in their professional life. Now, pretty much we are making this as an opportunity for students to connect with professionals, whether it's through their student organizations, whether it's through scholarships, so that way they can connect with professors that they want to work with, do research with, or even with people in the industry through the internships, as well as the entry-level jobs. Now, one thing that I want to make a very big point of is, even though this is a it is a tech project pretty much, I want to borrow a little bit of the philosophy of my internship, that I want to make this a project that it's led by people first, and then powered by tech. So pretty much I want something that we can build as a community, not something that we just do. We just do a product, that product is done. We want that to be helpful for students, and we want students to also contribute to that, as well as professionals. But okay, hand that over to you. Okay.
Okay. So again, the motivation for basically this project was, since right now like this STEM market is very like it's very competitive right now, but we wanted students to be able to, you know, get all the opportunities as much as they can, even like for scholarships, because also a lot of the times it's not only for jobs. The thing that also gets you like a better position, it's looking for opportunities such as like clubs, organizations, joining scholarships that also like they make you like part of a program. And also like as a student, I know that, well, I went through this. It was really hard to like do like get to the first step, you know? And also like the resources are very scattered. So we wanted to create a project that will put everything into one single page so that students can, it's so that it's more accessible for the students, pretty much.
So let's move to the next one. Now, just a little bit of the overview when it comes to the tech that we actually employed. At least to this point, we employed what is called a MERN stack. So just a little bit of an overview of people who don't know much about web development. How web development works, essentially, your browser calls calls another computer through the internet, which is called a server. That server sends you documents, which is usually HTML, which is the skeleton of the page, CSS, which is what makes it look pretty, and JavaScript, pretty much, which is the what adds a functionality within the page, like sending data, receiving data, even the stuff where you just click a button and it does something on the page, that's JavaScript. Now that runs entirely natively in the browser. You don't need to install anything but your browser. But sometimes it's not enough because you want to do more stuff than just in stuff inside the browser. So we employed this tech stack, which is called MERN, which is just kind of like a superset of JavaScript to pretty much do the functionality. So we built the server with Node and Express, pretty much frameworks to run JavaScript in the server. So that way we can pretty much have a backend to manage authentication, to manage saving of jobs and all of that. We built the database and designed the whole schema with Mongo. So pretty much the way that you design stuff with, you design tables with Excel or with any other software where you save data. In our case, we use IO. We pretty much have Mongo to store all the data and to pretty much dynamically work with it. Now, alrighty. We appreciate that, Clara. Yeah, that's also for those students who are here, please take advantage of what Clara put in the chat. It's very good. It's a very good. It's another very good resource. It would be a good idea to also include it in the page, a couple of tutoring pages.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can do that later on.
But that's for the future because, as I tell you, 4,000 lines of code, it was not easy. Now, another thing that I wanted to add is that we built the front end with React. So essentially, backend is pretty much like a page is like a restaurant. You have the backend where pretty much all the cooking is done, all the ingredients are stored and everything. And the front end is pretty much like where you have your tables and your server and everything. But pretty much your servers, your waiters are pretty much the ones that communicate directly with with the kitchen. That's what JavaScript is doing. This is what React is doing. It's pretty much giving you the page as well as communicating with the backend that we built with Node and Express. Alrighty. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that right now, so hosting a web page is not easy, especially these days, because you can suddenly, if your web page, for some reason, the 50,000 people access your web page, you have a $50,000 bill the next day from Google or Azure or all those big cloud providers, which are the easier options.
Not cheap.
Oh no, trust me, you can get hit with those, like your credits. They give you sometimes free credits, they're gone like this. So right now we're looking with some of the UTEP organizations for some help to help us with the self-hosting. I got one of my friends who donated a couple of laptops, so we've been tinkering around with that. it hasn't had much success, but we're trying as much as we can on the hosting to find either a relatively cheap option or pretty much do the hosting completely for ourselves, buy a no laptop or no computer and do the work. And as I mentioned, we're trying to get more people involved because this it is a little too big for two people.
Yeah.
So right now we have done as much as we can, and we're still working with the UTEP organizations, as I mentioned. Alrighty,
Okay.
go ahead.
So basically, the way that we gather like all the resources is that we connected with a lot of the organizations over there at UTEP. Well, like you mentioned, there's one specifically that you're part of. What is it called?
The free and open source software.
Yeah. So that basically, I believe you're gonna be presenting about this one, right? As well.
Yeah, I have also have a presentation with them later on in the month. But they're the guys who can help me the most with the technical side. But we have other organizations at UTEP that do pretty much they have pretty good context. Let's just put it that way, because pretty much they have recruitment with Microsoft, NVIDIA, the Air Force, especially SHIP, which is a Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, an organization that I'm a part of. And then I also have a couple of friends in there. And also the Coding Interview Club, which is one of the ones that usually brings most of the big companies in campus at UTEP. So I want to see if they can help me to bring people on board. Up to now, I haven't had much time to talk with them. It's been a bit of a hectic semester, and it conflicts with some other things. So we are trying to get in touch with people who are already there to help us out on that aspect.
Yeah. So we're trying to like network as much as possible with our students, organizations, so that we can get this program like first of all like as
Solid.
yeah, as solid as we can get it, and so we can publish it out for the students to be able to use. Yeah.
Now, one of the functionalities that we want to add into the future, because right now in-app connectivity between users, so meaning like chat or like a profile or like similar to LinkedIn or Facebook or whichever social media you may be familiar with, we want to do that. Currently, with the state of things, it's gonna be very difficult because it's something that requires a lot of data, requires a lot of computing power. So we may reserve that for later. Mainly, we just want to provide like the resources up front to the user. So pretty much, okay. So there are these internships. Go and apply. Just so we provide the applications links, details. So for that, we're planning on giving administrator access to specific people. So for example, scholarship administrators, recruiters at companies, or even like officers at the various clubs. So that way they can pretty much, how can I say? So they can pretty much just post on our page. And so that way all the data there is displayed, and also they can manage to delete information that they provided if they feel like delete or edit information based on what they have. Of course, regular users will only have the opportunity to either save some information that they're interested on, or pretty much just delete stuff they have saved from their own listings, but they cannot do any changes directly into they cannot do changes into the data because that's just gonna be the administrators. We're still deciding on how we will provide authentication we have for administrators, because that would be a security risk. And so right now we've been thinking probably giving out file keys, or maybe even creating a secret separate page which will connect to this one. But we're still, as I mentioned, we're still consulting with other of our peers over there at UTEP and even some of our professors. Okay, Okay, good. So just to let you know where we're at, did you click the?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Can you hear still?
I think we
Yes, we
Oh,
can still hear you.
can.
okay. Yes, just to let you know where we are. So pretty much we built the general overall design for with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I mentioned the bare bones. So we're doing a bunch of refactoring so that way we can get it adapted with the database, as well as the backend and the database are completely functional. I thoroughly tested it myself, checked that everything that the authentication was handled properly, check that it was following the standards pretty much for passwords, which was the thing that worried me the most, that it was posting data correctly and there was no information lost. Now, currently we have most of the front end, I would say, like a very.
Yeah. We're only missing like the admin and the dashboard.
We're missing a couple of the of things in the dashboard and some stuff that the admin can do because mainly uh, pretty much the time constraint is let me tell you, working on this plus working on some other stuff in school, it's been a little bit hard, but we are trying our best. We have done quite good progress, I would say. We'll see that a little bit later on the demo. And currently, as I mentioned, we're currently finding hosting. We're currently trying to find hosting. We attempted the possibility of self-hosting, which proved to be a little bit maybe too difficult because of the time constraints that we would have. Because essentially, how can I explain it? Because essentially, what's going to happen is we would have to not just maintain the page, we would also have to maintain the server, maintain the network, and maintain a bunch of stuff. Now, I've been thinking about talking with EPCC IT about it, but I don't want this to be something to be restricted to only EPCC students. I want this to be available for pretty much everyone within any university, and maybe in the future, hopefully, extended internationally if possible. Because yeah, but it will pretty much be a resource for all students to find opportunities sorry, to find work as soon as they graduate, to find internships if they're still on the way, scholarships if they're struggling with money, or even like organizations that can help them develop along along the lines of the course year. Now, another thing that we're currently doing is speaking with the student organization, classmates, and industry professionals. So, been talking personally. I've been talking with the people that I met with Walmart. They've been very helpful. They told me that yeah, we can help you out. But mainly they said maybe we can just give you the posting and you'll just do you can do it for us. Pretty much, they told us. Another thing, as I mentioned, we've been talking with Chip and the Coding Interview Club, there are two of the organizations at UTEP that provide most of the professional resources in the sense of jobs and internships. For scholarships, we're still looking around. Uh, Really, that one, I have to admit we haven't done much legwork because we're just limited to the UTEP scholarships, EPCC like one or two, but really it's mainly us like searching around, looking for stuff and looking to see who can help us like post those things. But yeah, that's currently where we're at. Hopefully we make progress along the way. It's probably going to be a very heavy semester for a very heavy semester for us. So we'll try to do as most as we can. Okay. All right. Anything you want to add?
Um, well, I did want to mention that if you're a student that is, you're studying like computer science or any STEM career, if you could also I mean, if you want to contribute to this, maybe give us information about scholarships, organizations that we might not know of. You can also feel free to send us an email, just contact us, and yeah, just help us out. Again, we want this page to be led by you guys, by the people. So
And us,
mhm,
of course.
yeah, of course.
But yeah, another thing that I want to add on top of that is, yeah, if you feel comfortable contributing in any sort of way, whether it's code, whether you know some resource that may help, like for example, a scholarship, an internship, something that you know about and you want to communicate us, you can just shoot us an email and we can probably just include those two, make a list of those and just post them in bunch at a certain point. But yeah, anything else? Okay, so pretty much before moving on, I also, as we mentioned, some plans for the future. One of the things that we want to add is automated resume reviews, and there's a very big reason for it. So pretty much a lot of the companies hiring right now, recruiters will not look at your resume, even to the job fairs that we have been going, including here, California, Fort Worth, probably in the fall, later in the fall. Like most of them, they just tell you, yeah, apply online, because essentially they have bots to check your resume. So we want to have a way to simulate what they do, so that way it can improve your chances once you submit your resume for for the automated review that they have. Now, another thing that we want to do is do a lighter and faster framework. One of the things that I do have to mention to you, JavaScript is considered to be relatively inefficient to other languages. It's still efficient enough for what we want to do, but as our user base grows, we might need to do something a little bit more, uh, not robust, because this is robust enough, but something that's more lightweight, more efficient, that it's more about, that it is closer to the hardware than this, because pretty much JavaScript, what it does is it interprets line by line your code. We may do it. We're still deciding if we want to change, what do we want to change it in. Probably it would be something related to Java. If we get too extreme, C, which a lot of people know as one of the hardest programming languages, and it is. But we're looking into how can we change how can we refactor the page that we currently have to be more efficient to run in our server, so that way there's not that much computing costs, because that would cost electricity, and pay for a hosting server that will cost more than electricity. Another thing that we want to add is, as I mentioned before, it's an app connection, so pretty much chat, forums, and those kind of things. So for example, somebody has a question like, hey, can somebody review my resume? We can just post it there and people can just go there. Of course, that would require a lot of automation tools, a lot of a larger capacity in the servers. So I want to do that later, when we don't have to have something that is too that would hit the servers too hard, because even storing messages and stuff like that, even if it's just like 2-3 kilobytes or something like that per message, which for us it may sound very small, but in reality for a computer it's a lot. We want to take that into account to make it as lightweight and as pretty much as lightweight as possible, and as easy as possible for both the computers and the developers who may want to help us along the way. Another thing is that we want to do refinements based on user experience. So we're gonna try to leave a section for contacting we want to leave a section for contacting directly in the web page, so that way they can reach directly to us, so that way they can provide feedback, and based on that feedback we can make some improvements into the page. If I don't know, if somebody didn't like a button that I don't know, they don't like how a button looks or something like that. Uh, we may not pay too much attention to that unless it's something that it's very large, but pretty much we're gonna try to listen as much to the user feedback. Of course, making the changes to be as reasonable as possible. Because if you ask me to change the button of a color, sorry, the color of a button, I would be like,
No.
well, it's only you complaining about it.
Yeah, would mainly be like functionality, like anything that you think could make the
Experience
yeah,
better.
experience better.
Alrighty. You okay? So those are the plans for the future. Now, okay, now some final remarks, and then we'll go into the demo. So currently we're doing, as I mentioned, we are doing as much progress as possible during our schedules because right now, pretty much most of our classes are either project-based or we're doing senior level work. So as you may know, that's not fun and is very time consuming. But fortunately enough, this was an experience that also allowed us to pretty much develop ourselves as programmers and also helped us a lot more to learn a lot more about web development, like some little nitpicks here and there that we were not aware of how to use. And to be fair, stuff not taught in school. Um, it is also going to be a continuous process of improving and updating. So software these days, it is not something that it is one and done. As you may see, you will often, I mean, all of you, I bet that you hate Windows updates unless you have Mac. But pretty much we're trying to have, I know, but I switched to Linux because of it. But pretty much, so pretty much where software is not something that you just, okay, it's good, it's gonna stay good forever. As my manager mentioned when I was in my internship, an engineer who's behind by a day, it's in reality behind by about a week in the new technologies that he's learning. So it's very good to keep the page up to date, especially because of new security risks that may arise, stuff that may go wrong within the page, some bugs that we may discover. Fortunately, nothing up to now that I can see. Now, another thing is that we want to make the project, as we mentioned, not just an effort of two people, because first of all, it would be too much for us to. We're taking as much, even though we're taking as much as we can into our hands, we want to make this a project for the community by the community. So pretty much if alumni want to contribute, they can contribute by providing advice, by providing coding, by providing technical expertise, professional expertise, any kind of expertise they have, they can provide it, or even like physical resources. Like I have a friend, as I mentioned, one of my friends donated a laptop, which we were trying to use for self-hosting. Currently still working on that, and probably I'll ask him for help on that. Uh, but yeah, pretty much we don't want. I also want to make it something by the community because it will. Sorry, engineering, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. They're very collaborative. Collaborative fields. Like engineers, you would have meetings in the morning, then you would go to your work, and then you will have another meeting in the evening because you want to keep syncing, you want to keep checking, and it is something that if you don't know something, you go and ask. So I want to create that kind of environment so that way we can make uh, not just our page grow, but also help students grow, not just by looking at the page and applying themselves, but also contributing, making themselves part of the bigger picture of what it's contributing to STEM, which is something that tries to further humanity through the application of technology and science. Alrighty, anything else you want to add?
I do want to mention about the continuous process. Um, Again, if you guys have any recommendation, any features that you guys wanna, do you guys think will be helpful to add to the page? You guys can also let us know. And yeah, I mean it's still in the works, but we're gonna try to do as much as we can to make it functional for now.
Alrighty, just give me one quick second here. There's just something I need to do.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing, yeah, I'll leave that for the end. So here's the fun part. We're gonna do a quick demo. It's gonna be real quick. Just to let you know, it is running on mock data, so pretty much we fed the database with some examples that would help us kind of debug, see how would things look, how things are going. So pretty much what we're doing is,
So we created like fake data. So you're gonna see the page for like all the jobs.
yeah.
All those jobs are not real.
So
So we just wanted to show like the functionality and the design of it.
yeah. Plus you can really tell some of them have silly names. But yeah, let me share my screen real quick and then we'll go back to the contact info. So share application screen, step page. Alrighty. So everybody should be able to see. Let me just click here. Okay. So everybody should be able to see here the page. So pretty much just to explain as okay. Thank you, Norma. So pretty much what's going on around here. So late database is running, backend is running, and frontend is running. All in my computer, but in a way that it would be as if each one of those programs was in a completely separate computer. So what's going on here? So we have our landing page. Just to let you know, we're still deciding what to do with the search bar, how we're going to implement that. But pretty much here we have a couple of things that we can use. So we have our scholarships, our internships, entry-level jobs, and student organizations. You can click on each of those. So here it's going to show you some details about scholarships, okay, which you can sort in descending order, show as many as you want per page, of course, if they're available, move to other pages, and also you can click this see more button so that way you can check all the details about this. So for example, this is going to tell you the locations where it's at, the majors that it's for, as well as the requirements that you would need to enter into, to apply to that scholarship. Similarly, we do the same thing with internships. For internships, the data that we will be collecting, it would be the application link, it would be the date posted, the period which the internship is going to last, a brief description, locations, majors. For jobs, what we're doing is pretty much doing quick descriptions, salary, requirements, and preferred majors. And organizations, what we want to do, this one we might want to include a little bit more functionality on the end on the end of the user. Because for this one, of course, the logos, we couldn't get any images, so sorry for that. But pretty much it's going to show the logos. It's going to show where it's located, either the university, the city. It's going to show their website, the brief description, the meeting times, as well as majors that is specifically for. A contact email on where they can reach the people at. Some social media links. That one we're still deciding if we want to do. If we want to do icons or not, because that we can do icons, but the problem is that it might be a little bit too difficult right now. It's definitely going to be a plan for the future. We also have like their events, so here they can post as many events as they want. Gonna add some. We're still in the process of adding some functionality for them to be able to delete them and update them. We also have a login feature, which we're still working on. Registration, it is fully functional right now. So let's do something like Jane Doe at example.com. And it has the basic password authentication process. So pretty much if I do this, it's going to tell you that the passwords don't match. If I do this, it's going to tell me the requirements are not met. So we can do something like password 1 to meet all the requirements. So pretty much the standard. Password 1. Just please don't use my password. That's actually my password. No, just kidding. And it tells me that the user successfully registered, and it automatically redirects me to the login page. So I'm gonna save this to show it. So currently we're also working on the user dashboard. That is something that we want to implement so that way they can the user can save job. Sorry about this, guys. My battery died for.
Can you guys hear us okay? Like it says I have low connection.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. My earbuds battery died. I don't like those things. They have very low battery, but what can I do? But anyways, so pretty much this is the point that we're at. So pretty much you can go here, you can log out. All of this is functional and secure up to this point. Currently, we have all of the source code of the project in the page that is called GitHub, where you can share code and collaborate with code. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat for anybody who wants to take a look at that. For those who haven't done any coding at all, just to let you know, it is scary.
Don't be scared though.
No, it's relatively the usual of a project. It does look big, but remember that it is something that it's built over time, and that it's not something that if you want to contribute or if you want to tell us about something, we don't expect you your changes like we don't expect you to look at the code and say uh, I understand everything. No, it's going line by line like we did ourselves. Maybe some stuff like jumping over and like copying and pasting some stuff because it was doing the same thing over again, but modifying every single little line. But as I mentioned, it is something that it does take time. It does take a bunch of progress to do, and this is something that, as we mentioned before, it is something that will continuously be in progress. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing, and let me go back to the PowerPoint so that way we can do. So, happy math hour test. There we go. Okay, so it didn't share. Okay. And let's do in the contact info. Okay, good. Alrighty, so just to let you know, so here is our contact info. You can reach out to our EPCC emails. I also posted what is called.
Like I don't think that's my email. Actually, that's not my email, but I'll post mine in the chat. You guys.
Okay. Change the PowerPoint and then I'll send you guys. And also you can reach out to either me or to Karina to either get the PowerPoint, get more information about the project. Also, if you find something, if sorry, if you like coding, if you like anything of that, and if you want to look at our code and say, hey, this is where you messed up, or this is somewhere where I can help you out, you're very welcome to let us know. Just please put in the subject STEM page or something like that, so we don't think, oh, it's probably, it's probably spam or something.
Yeah.
If you reach us from any other email than EPCC, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that would be all for us in the meantime. I'm gonna leave the next 10 minutes up for questions. So anybody who wants to ask questions, just raise your hand.
Okay, thank you, Rafael and Karina. So, what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, we do have a question. So, when did you guys start this project? Go ahead.
We started.
May?
Yeah, we started as soon as the intersession between April and May. Sorry, between the spring and the fall. Sorry, the spring and the summer.
Spring and
Sorry.
summer. Yeah.
So we've been working between the intersessions, here and there at work, at school, as much as we can. It's been kind of hectic, but we did start about 2 months ago, and it has taken quite a while, especially because of those little interruptions. Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, so we can go ahead and we'll wait for any questions. Oh, we do have a thank you for sharing this wonderful new resource. Thank you, Norma. But yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions, feel free to put it in the chat box as well, or you can go ahead and raise your hand and turn on your mic to go ahead and just ask your question. So real quick, thank you so much, Rafael and Karina, for this wonderful presentation. It is a great resource, so I really hope that not only just students, but students and staff can learn from it, and then they can take this information and hopefully keep sharing it. So that way it gets to a point where everybody knows about this, right? So yes, the audience now, again, we would like to thank you guys all for being a wonderful audience and for coming in today. Lauren, the kind of passport link? Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll double check that for you, okay? So everybody, please remember that these sessions are recorded. So if there's anything that you guys would like to share or review from this presentation, those recorded sessions can definitely help, and they can help to also share it with anybody you may know. We did share the Tejano passport link, so we'll go ahead and check it so that everyone can receive their points for coming in today. So real quick, I am also going to show you guys the presentations that we will have next. So we'll be back next week with Tejano virtual events at 11 a.m. with Happy Math Hour, where Math 1314 and Math 1324 will both cover the exam 2 review. Our 1 p.m. session next week will be the Writing Center and Succeeding with CSD. We hope to see you all again for Tejano virtual events, and we hope everyone has a restful weekend. Karina, Rafael, thank you guys again so much. We hope to see you guys again soon, and hopefully we'll get more updates on this. And thank you everybody again for coming in, and we hope to see you guys again for TVE.
Thank you so much, Gemma. We'll try to update around campus once we have more stuff done, or at least something running that's fully functional and already on the web and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So once we get it running, we'll probably be posting it on the around campus, maybe like using a QR code. But yeah, we'll let you guys know.
Yes, absolutely. So that way we can also share it with our audience here at TVE, and hopefully it reaches more people through here as well. So please come back. We'll kind of keep in contact as well. So that way, if you guys have any updates, you guys can let us know, or just feel free to just come back in and we'll go on from there.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody for coming in today.